Today, I want to talk about something that is very common among people, the Kshudhita Avastha of the sun. Kshudhita is a Sanskrit word meaning hungry, starved, or deprived of nourishment. One of the planets that can cause starvation for the sun is Saturn, because Saturn is an enemy of the sun. So, in this video, I want to explore what happens when Saturn starves the sun. Welcome to Inner JYOTISH, where the outer cosmos meets the inner cosmos. Symbolically, the sun and Saturn are very different energies. The sun is our confidence, radiance, vitality, inspiration, attention, direction, and the sense of I am. Meanwhile, Saturn tends to compress, delay, restrict, and introduce doubt or fear. So when Saturn influences the sun, the person often feels that their experiences with expressing their sun are not nourishing. Now, before jumping into the details of Sun being starved by Saturn, we first need to understand what starvation actually is for a planet. Because if someone hears the sun is being starved, that might sound poetic, but what does it actually mean? So, starvation implies that the planet which is being starved is unfulfilled regarding the things it naturally signifies. So, when Saturn starves the sun, it means that the energy of Saturn is influencing hunger or unfulfillment around the solar significations. For example, the person may hunger for confidence and struggle to access it naturally. They may hunger for recognition, yet simultaneously fear visibility. And they may feel as if their self-expression is just not fulfilling. In addition, quite often, Saturn creates a feeling as if one has to earn their right to shine. And because of that, the solar energy might not be moving and flowing naturally. Instead, it could be restricted, too careful, or overly self-conscious. Now, there are three ways in which Saturn can starve the sun. Number one, when Saturn is conjunct the sun. Number two, when Saturn is aspecting the sun. And number three, when the sun is in the zodiac sign or Rashi, which is ruled by Saturn. And if you want to know whether Saturn is starving the sun in your birth chart, comment down below with the zodiac signs or Rashis that your natal sun and Saturn occupy. And then I will let you know whether you have this Kshudhita Avastha or not. Now back to the exploration. When a planet lacks a healthy access to the things it wants to express, typically compensation begins to occur. And compensation usually creates behavior that is out of balance and out of harmony. Just like when a person is hungry, they may act in ways that are overly reactive or overly driven. So when Saturn starves the sun, the person can become so hungry for solar qualities that their attempts to experience these solar qualities become distorted or out of balance. For instance, instead of confidence flowing naturally, the person might try to prove that they are confident or self assured. Also, instead of expressing a healthy sense of authority, they may try to perform authority over other people. Or they may dominate situations where it's unnecessary, or act in ways that are overly controlling or overly certain. And all of that just doesn't feel natural or relaxed. It feels compensatory. Now, the opposite can also happen in cases where Saturn is much stronger than the Sun, that the person disconnects from solar energy altogether. So, in moments when they should really take the lead, be initiative, stand up, take up space, radiate their unique sense of self, they hesitate or shy away from it entirely. And typically, the person just waits for someone else to carry their solar energy for them, while secretly still feeling a hunger for those qualities. The next important question is, how or why does it happen psychologically? Because of many experiences that I had with working with people who have this configuration in their birth chart, something became clear. Usually, somewhere in their early life, there were people, situations, or an environment that met their self expression with criticism, judgment, restriction, or suppression. Maybe it was their mother who was criticizing their individuality. Maybe it was a father figure who made them feel weak and incapable. Maybe it was a teacher who constantly reminded them that they don't have what it takes to achieve what they aspire for. Maybe it was a coach who was constantly crushing confidence instead of developing it. And so, whenever they tried to express themselves, they were met with blocks, restrictions, and judgment. So, throughout these experiences, the natal sun learns to shut down or find ways to overcompensate. The last thing that I want to share is that I want to anchor this in my general perspective on astrology and on the birth chart. To me, the birth chart is a map of our karmas, tendencies, lessons, and experiences which we are meant to go through in this lifetime. Moreover, I do not view the birth chart as something fixed. So, when I see the sun being starred by Saturn in the birth chart, I do not automatically assume that this starvation will continue forever. In fact, astrology becomes useful precisely because it can help us identify such patterns. And when we become conscious of them, then the change can begin. So, if you recognize that Saturn is starving your sun, then that awareness itself is the beginning of your transformation. Because now you can start working intentionally with your solar energy. And I'm not saying this only in theory, because this configuration is something that I have been working on both astrologically and psychologically. And therefore, I can help you to understand and unpack not only the root of this pattern, but also share some practical ways how you can heal and work on your solar energy. So, if you would like support in this process, then you can book a free discovery call with me so we could discuss how we could work together. The link to the free discovery call is below in the description. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.